Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Respect has to go both ways. If someone constantly makes you the butt of their jokes, they're showing you exactly how much they value you. Today in the rLounge, we aren't laughing. Wife let her friends disrespect me. Now she's watching me build a new life without her and regrets. I, 44 male, am divorcing my wife of 6 years, Lisa, 39 female, because she let her friends disrespect me. They made fun of me and she watched. The worst? She enjoyed. Isn't this a good enough reason to be separated? Apparently everyone around me has been on my back calling me crazy and impulsive for taking it so far for a silly reason. Maybe it's silly for them, but my self-respect is a big deal for me. She had a very close group of girlfriends from college. From the start, I had a feeling they didn't like me, but I shrugged it off. Who cares what my wife's friends think? They weren't important to me. Right from the first time she introduced me to them, I felt a cold vibe. They tried to be sweet, but one could easily see through their act. The awkward silence and side glances said a lot. Initially, I brushed it off that I was overthinking, or maybe they needed time to get along. It was those subtle hints that said out loud that I was unwanted. They'd cut me off in conversations and move the talks to the other direction of what I said. If I cracked a joke, they'd exchange glances and smirk. They'd make inside jokes at my expense. Jokes Lisa never bothered to explain. Once, one of them outright asked Lisa, "How did you end up with him?" Lisa just laughed and said, "Oh, he grows on you." Like I was some kind of fungus. I asked what that's supposed to mean, and they changed the topic. The worst part? She never stood up for me. Not once. Later, when I confronted Lisa, she brushed it off as a joke. Eventually, I stopped tagging along, but sometimes they would show up at our place and I couldn't help. Though I didn't talk to them, expect the pleasantries. Still, their presence fogged my mind. There were so many times when I asked Lisa why her friends were so cold towards me. Usually she would brush it off, but once she confessed that her friends thought she deserved better, that I was too old for her, and maybe she was too pretty and young for me. Also, I didn't make a lot. She said, "My friends look up to me as a smart and confident woman, and they had expected I would marry some rich guy or so." Her words made me ask why she even married me, or if she too thinks so. She assured me that she married for love and she was happy and content. That was the only worrisome part of our marriage. If you remove her friends from the equation, we had an amazing life. Busy with our work, cooking and cleaning together on the weekend, spending the Sundays by ourselves or going out. We didn't have any major fights apart from the ones that popped up due to her friends. It feels like she becomes a different person in front of them. Usually she's kind and considerate, but with them, she becomes feisty and savage. All her friends are this way. Maybe she tries to fit in. Anyways, the breaking point was their group chat. Around 5 months back, her laptop crashed, and she used mine for a while. She logged into WhatsApp on my computer, but forgot to log out. A few days later, I opened the app and realized it was her account. I was about to close it when messages started syncing. Hundreds of them. And you know there's no way you could stop the sync. I intended to log out, but my name popped up multiple times in their group chat sync, and I could see through the preface. Curiosity got the best of me, and I opened the chat. It was worse than I ever imagined. She wasn't just tolerating their trash talk, she was enjoying it. There's one friend named Millie. She's the meanest of all. She married a rich tech guy a year back and brags nonstop about the money, the holidays, and gifts. The guy is handsome too. She often sent their pictures in the group and then tagged Lisa and asked what did I give for her birthday, or where was I taking her for the holidays. It was hurtful, but Lisa's response was more shattering. One of her friends said, "I swear, sometimes I wonder what were you even thinking when you decided to marry him?" And she responded, "I wonder that too, huh?" Then someone said, "He's so boring. He doesn't even buy you flowers." To which she replied, "Huh." She either laughed or seconded their mean comments. They egged her on, laughing at my expense like I was some clueless fool. One of them even suggested she find someone on the side, someone more exciting. Lisa's response was, "You bet." I felt sick to the guts. I was shaking. This wasn't just mean-spirited gossip. It was hurtful. I exported the whole chat into my mailbox and saved it on my laptop. I didn't explode. I just sat there, processing. It hit me like a ton of bricks that the woman I loved, the woman I built a life with, had been making a joke out of me for years, and I was a fool to think we had a great marriage. I scanned through her inbox but didn't find anything else. Her chat with her mom also had nothing in it. When she got home, I confronted her. She froze and then panicked, asking how I got to know about these. I told her she forgot to log out of my computer. She tried to gaslight me that I invaded her privacy and went through her messages. She accused me as if that was the real issue. as if the violation of her privacy was the crime here, not the absolute mockery of our marriage. I clearly told her, "You didn't log out, and frankly, I'm glad you didn't. At least now I know the truth, what you think about me." She defended herself, saying she didn't say anything wrong about me. She challenged me to show her proof that she talked badly about me. Yes, she didn't say outright, but she didn't stop them either. The situation blew up. I was really mad at her. She too was defending herself that her friends were just funny and messing up with her, and they say mean things about everyone, and I was no exception. I said, "I don't care what they say or do. You being my wife should have defended me, but you enjoyed their insults on me." She tried to defend herself and her friend, but I laid it out plain and simple. It's them or me. Either she cut them off right now over the phone in front of me, or we were done. She hesitated. She actually hesitated. She pushed it. "Come on, you know they're just joking." And, "You're taking this too seriously." I said, "Cool, you made your choice, and now I would make mine. I'm ending it." She freaked out. "You're really going to break up over some texts? Over so stupid reasons?" It's not about texts or petty reasons. It's about self-respect. As my wife, it's her duty to protect my honor, and she had failed to do so. I was still being considerate and giving her a chance to make things right. All she had to do was cut off her friends. What's the use of such cruel people in life who only put you down and make you feel small? She didn't understand it. She apologized on their behalf and promised to keep them in check next time. I said, "It's not helping. I don't need a sorry. I want you to cut them off right now. If you can't, then I'm out." After a lot of back and forth and multiple rounds of fighting and yelling, she finally said firmly that she cannot cut off her friends. They came into her life before me and she can't lose them over me. I grabbed my jacket and said, "Cool, then I can't live with you." End of discussion. She tried to stop me, but I stormed out. Over the next few days, I told her we needed to start living separately. Either she moves out or I would. She resisted for a while, but when I didn't soften, she flipped and said, "Think again. I'm way out of your league. You may not be lucky twice." I laughed at her words. She's smug. "Once I say yes to the divorce, I won't change my mind, even if you beg and come crawling on your hands." I let out a bitter laugh and said, "Fine by me." She packed her stuff and left. We're going through the separation period before we can proceed with the divorce. We have 6 months wait period, and it's killing me. I'm counting the days till it gets over. We've split the assets 50-50, put the house up for sale. Luckily, we don't have kids, so there's no custody battle. Even without that, things are messy, and on top of that, everyone around is calling me impulsive and too sensitive. They're belittling my feelings that I have blown out of proportion, and it could be solved just via couples therapy. Therapy my butt. You're not crazy or impulsive for leaving a marriage when you're consistently disrespected, OP. Your wife's refusal to defend you, and worse, her enjoyment of the mockery, speaks volumes about her priorities. A relationship should be a partnership, not a battleground. There's only so much a person can and should handle. Update 1. The divorce is almost finalized. The wait period was traumatic. Though she put up a face that it was my loss and she was leading her best life, she subtly tried to manipulate me using my parents and friends. You see, I'm a low-key guy. Don't make my life public. I didn't go about telling everyone I was divorcing. She did. She deliberately slipped out this information to my parents and my friends and fed them a twisted version of the truth. She painted me as a paranoid husband who had spied on her and found some harmless jokes between her friends and blown it out of proportion. My dad even came down to meet and knock some sense into me. He sat me down and explained that women often rely on their close-knit group of friends as a safety net, a place to vent, and that I shouldn't be insecure about it. He said I was acting impulsively and throwing away a marriage over what he assumed was just meaningless gossip. I let him speak his piece, and then without a word, I pulled out my laptop and showed him the messages. The moment he started reading, his expression changed. He was utterly speechless. He saw firsthand that it wasn't just lighthearted teasing, but outright mockery, pure, unfiltered results. Lisa was not just allowing it, but actively encouraging it. After a long pause, he sighed and said, "I get it now." He didn't apologize outright, but the way he patted my shoulder and simply said, "Do what you have to do, son." He made me realize that my silence on the topic was making me the bad guy. Now I understood why everyone called me impulsive. When she told everyone about our divorce, my parents and some close friends tried to talk to me, but I didn't indulge. Hence, most of them believed her version of the story. Naturally so. Anyway, I managed to sell the house at a great price. We divided the assets evenly. To my surprise, she didn't fight me on this. Her pride wouldn't allow it. I was more than happy with her approach because I just wanted everything over with ASAP. She had moved in with one of her friends and wasted no time putting up an act of a carefree, exciting life on social media. Her posts were flooded with pictures and videos of her partying, traveling, and living her best life. I knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted me to see it, to feel like I had lost something irreplaceable. She wanted to make me feel jealous, but instead, I moved on. I redirected my energy into rebuilding myself. I hit the gym and lost weight, finally prioritizing my health. I also started a side business that I had been meaning to launch for years. With no toxic influences holding me back, I'm more focused and productive than ever. I spend my day at work, sweat at the gym, and come back home to work on my business. It's so fulfilling. She couldn't bear to see I was doing so good without her. She started poking her nose back in my life. Actually, Lisa and I had been in the middle of an IVF process before everything fell apart. Given the circumstances, I withdrew from the process, making it clear that I no longer consented to having a child with her. Simple and fair, right? No, this did not sit well with her. She had this twisted request that I should let her have my child despite the separation. Like, what the hell? I said no. Any sane person would have understood it, but she was entitled. She started pleading, first with texts, long paragraphs, and emotional appeals. Then came the calls. I had not blocked her yet, thinking we might have to communicate for the divorce, and she was cooperating until now. When I ignored the texts and calls, she showed up on my doorstep. She looked disheveled, eyes puffy from crying, quite opposite to the glamorous life she showed off online. She pleaded, "Please, this is all I've ever wanted. I don't even need you to be involved. Just let me have this baby. I'll raise it alone. You won't have to do anything." I said I was relieved we don't have children together. The separation would have been so difficult. It's easy this way, and you want to complicate it by having my child? I won't permit it. She still persisted, but I firmly said, "We are done. I want no connection to you, now or in the future." She clutched my sleeves. Tears rolled down her face. She begged, "I know we didn't work out, but this is different. It's my dream. I've always wanted to be a mother. Please don't take this away from me." She was desperate, but I remained unmoved and asserted, "You're asking me to bring a child into this world, into a broken relationship. I won't do it. I refuse to have a child that links me to you for life." She sobbed harder and made all sorts of unrealistic promises that, "I'll sign anything you want. No child support, no involvement. You won't even have to see them. I just need this." I shook my head. "My decision is final. I already informed the clinic to discard my sample. There's nothing left to discuss." She stared at me for a long moment, searching my face for any sign of softness. I remained unmoved, and she finally left, wiping her tears. A few days later, her parents reached out with the same requests. They assured me I wouldn't have any responsibility for the child. She would sign an official document that she would ask for no child support, but my answer remained the same: absolutely not. I wanted no connection to her, and certainly not through a child. This is the final stretch before the divorce is finalized. I can see the finish line, and I'm counting down the days. Update 2. It's been 2 years since my last post, and life has been nothing but great and transformative. After everything that happened, I threw myself into my business, and it has paid off tremendously. I started it as a side hustle, and now it has grown into a full-fledged, thriving business. I was able to scale it beyond my expectations, and now I run it full-time. I quit my job a year ago and never looked back. I built a website, invested in marketing, and expanded my client base. The financial stability and independence I have now, it's something I never thought I'd achieve so soon, and it feels incredible. Good things happen when you cut off negative people from your life. Her friends looked down upon me. She thought I was beneath her. Look now. Well, she's been watching it all. I never blocked her on social media, but don't follow her either. I know for sure that she looks up on my profile every now and then because I see her likes on my marketing campaign or milestone posts. I don't post much, but whenever I do, it's about my business, achievements, or good vacations, and not any random stuff. Recently, I spoke to one of the mutual friends, and she told me that Lisa brings me up more often than she'd like to admit. The same woman who smugly told me I would never find someone like her again. That I was lucky to have had her, is now silently stalking my every move. During the waiting period and even few months after the divorce, she continued posting about her fun and colorful social life, but gradually, it shifted. Her life has been anything but perfect. She enjoyed her carefree life for a while, but eventually, she felt lonely after all her friends got engaged and married and prioritized their personal life. The friend with which she moved in after the divorce also got engaged and asked Lisa to move out. She chose them over me, and at last got left behind by her soulmate friends. Those cheerful group pictures with her so-called best friends had disappeared now. Instead, she's been posting cryptic stories about fake friends and how one bad apple can ruin the bunch. The best part was the mutual friend let it slip to Lisa that I'm dating another woman. It's true. I have found love again. She's my business associate. Smart, independent, and kind woman with her own ambitions and drive. We met through work. It started as a professional relationship and naturally grew into something so deep and meaningful. She's nothing like Lisa, and that's the best part. There are no mind games, no belittling, no cruel laughter at my expense. She respects me, supports me, and most importantly, she values me for who I am, not for what I can provide or how I can compare to someone else's wealthy husband. When Lisa found out about her, she lost it. She showed up at my workplace unannounced, asking for a few minutes. She looked different and desperate, less put together and regretful. She started off by saying sorry. This was the first time she ever uttered that word, and it felt she meant it. She admitted that it was her mistake to prioritize her friends over me. She was guilty and remorseful. She spilled everything. How, in the end, her friends all got busy with their own lives. 2 of them had kids now and lost touch. Another had moved away for her husband's job. Their group got scattered. This was the primary reason she wanted to have kids, because her friends were having it and she didn't want to feel left out. She confessed that she wanted to fit into the girls' gang. These girls were the coolest ones of her college. Lisa wanted to be a part of this group, hence did everything to fit in and never stood up against them. She said, "I never wanted to hurt you and didn't mean what I said in the chat. I just played along to be in their good books." I was like, exactly. You cared about them, their opinion, and not about my feelings. You made your choice and I mine, and we both are living by it. She wiped her tears and tried to fake an excitement. "I'm so happy for your success. You're doing so well. I follow your business updates. Excited to see you're thriving. You also look younger and fresh." I didn't melt, just nodded with a half smile. She meekly said, "Now that I have cut off all my friends, do we have a chance?" I laughed at her question. She didn't cut off her friends. They sidelined her, and when she had no one, she came to me as if I was the last choice. I smirked. "What about my girlfriend? You know about her, don't you?" She pretended to be surprised and then whispered, "You have known her for a few months. Shouldn't be difficult to get her off your back." I said, "It actually would be difficult because you know what? I love her. She's an amazing woman. I wish I could say the same for you." She was in tears, saying she lost everything. A happy married life, a chance to be a mother. Even the men she had tried to date after me had all let her down. She confided that none of them were serious about a relationship and that the few who were financially successful didn't treat her with the kindness and respect that she wanted. Her eyes were remorseful that she had finally realized what she had lost. That she had let go of the one person who genuinely loved her for people who didn't care. The pain of realizing that she had thrown away something real for short-term fun, but I felt nothing. No bitterness, no anger, just peace. I told her goodbye, and I meant it. I closed the door on her for the final time. She bet I would come crawling back. Look who's crawling now. Her regret is predictable, but it doesn't mean you owe her anything. She made her choices based on superficial validation, and now that her support system has crumbled, she's grasping in the past, hoping to rewrite history. Too bad, so sad. That's not how life works. Have you ever been in a similar situation? Share your stories with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time. And please put your chair back where you found it.